This Hangout on Air is live. All right. Welcome, everyone, to Politics After Dark. Thank you all for joining me, and thank you, Austin Petersen, for being my very special guest, presidential candidate. So, we are very important tonight.
Thanks for having me, Rachel.
Thank you for coming back. This is what, your third time?
I think this is my second time. Yeah, first time you had me right when I told you I was thinking about running.
Yeah, and I think you came on my podcast like a year ago, forever ago. Anyway, is that true? I don't know.
Well, you have a long and storied career, Rachel.
Yes. Who can keep track? But anyway, over in the chat, hi. I just posted in the chat that I was having a personal crisis about my dog. The good news is a neighbor just called me a few minutes ago. They found the dog. He's fine. She's got him on her porch, and my husband is going to get him. So I feel better.
That's real problems, man. The president can't solve those kinds of problems.
down here.
But if it was a liberal, if I was Hillary Clinton, I would say, I will start a study commission to rescue women from women that lost their dogs.
Yeah, they can never just say, I can't help you with that.
Right.
You're just going to have to deal with that yourself. I can't help you. But so that is going to be resolved shortly with a happy ending. That's good. And we're going to fix the gate so it doesn't do this again. Okay, here's the story. The reason the gate doesn't close very well is because our basement flooded, and then the Roto-Rooter people that came to fix it, they had a really huge truck, and they bumped the gate, and it doesn't quite close right anymore. So there, that's that, yeah. Yes, Charles Kennedy remembers. He's a genius. Austin was on the Spreecast version of Rachel's podcast about a year ago. Yes, he's my archivist. Charles Kennedy over in chat. Thank you for coming. And Anthem Vault is here in the form of Megan.
Hi, Megan.
Megan goes way back with us. She's been an activist and in Liberty circles as long as I think I have. Or you. So yeah, Megan's old school. It's good to have you around. So let's get down to serious business, serious questions. Austin, what are you drinking?
It was a crazy night. We had a big happy hour here tonight. We had a fundraiser.
You had a happy hour live on Facebook, and it was awesome. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I was listening to it while I was making dinner. So
the cool thing is about this new technology on Facebook is that you can live stream, do what we're doing right now, and it blasts it to your audience. So people come in and they're sending in phone calls. We were taking live calls from our audience, and it's real connections. Grassroots means you have to touch people, not just speak at them, but speak with them. And so I'm trying to take every opportunity I can to speak with people like this. Like you and I, we're trying to talk about the ideas that we really care about.
That's why I like you, Austin. I like people who think like me. And I think the future of media is not speaking at people, not just a head in a box broadcasting at you. I think the future of media is going to be interactive like this. Like Huffington Post Live, HuffPo Live. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's good stuff. And the technology is not excellent yet, but it's getting there. And pretty, in 5 years, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be like, before and after YouTube. It's going to be like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's all kinds of competing technologies right now that are platforms. They're really just the platforms, right? So it's a matter of, do people want to hear what you have to say? I mean, it's a real meritocracy, Rachel. Think about it. The cream rises to the top in this kind of an atmosphere. So, when it turns out, what are you going to be successful, right? Can you entertain? Can you educate? Can you give people something that they want? And that really is going to be, the deciding factor. After that really is going to be also the technical issues, which sometimes have to do less with your actual message and more with how you deliver it and what platforms you choose to use to deliver it. Like right now, you've created Liberty.me, and Liberty.me is what we're talking through right now. And it's like, this is a platform to talk about these issues. But when you're talking about free speech and you're talking about the ability to communicate, mass media and stuff like that, you have to understand not only the medium that you're using, right, but you have to understand like what is the sort of like social atmosphere or the zeitgeist that gives the real platform, which is, do I listen to you now, or are you an idiot and I close my ears? Sometimes, and sometimes people are just, they're just idiots and maybe they don't know what's a good message.
Okay, Austin.
Donald Trump.
That you are behaving like a true presidential candidate, and I mean that in a nasty way because you pivoted. You did not answer my question. The question, sir, was what are you drinking?
Oh, okay. Well, actually, I'm a Kansas City boy, born and raised, so I was drinking some Kansas City Boulevard unfiltered wheat. The Boulevard Ale is the local. The Boulevard Wheat is the local brewery out here in Kansas City. It's a good Kansas City company, a local company.
Good.
I love a good Boulevard, and I've been drinking Boulevard, since I was legal age to drink, which I, of course, would never break such a law.
Are you legal age to drink? We know that you're not.
I'm running for president right now, Rachel. You want to laugh? I'm doing my job. You know what I mean? This is funny. I talk to everybody. I somehow tell people, everybody that I talk to, I tell them that I'm running for president, whether I meet them in a bar or whether I'm on the street or something like that. I somehow manage, because I like to trick people, play with people, right? It's fun. It's fun. It's not trick people, but it's like if you meet an old lady, in the checkout aisle, right? Or you meet in the grocery, how can you fit it in? I kind of tease it out. So how can I explain to people? Because when people realize that I'm serious, they're usually like, because usually somebody who would say something like that is like, oh, you're a crazy person. They instantly want to know, this guy's nuts. I never heard of this guy, so he must be nuts, right?
You're totally making me want to run for president now, just so I can play that game. That sounds fun.
Why not? Jim Webb's running, there are a lot of candidates in this race, and that's what makes it so interesting, because never before have there been so many interesting options. And some people say they've made up their minds. I don't believe that. Polls are skewed. It doesn't matter what the polls say today because they'll say something else tomorrow. So Christopher Hitchens had a great quote about polls. A couple of great quotes. One was that polls aren't really commissioned to tell you what people think as much as they're to tell people how to think.
Interesting.
Which because here's the thing: the mainstream media. Think about it. Normal people don't poll. They don't need to have polls. Who needs polls? Rich people who have special interests have polls. They spend money. Why would a normal person who's like a welder, commission a poll?
That's true.
Some people do polls for certain types of marketing and stuff like that. And certainly, George Soros or the Koch brothers, they look at the marketplace or to sell their ideas. Go ahead and come on through. Can't see you. Sorry, we're still this
is a very casual show. No problem. Bring them on air. I don't care.
But where were we?
Polls. And you, I think you were making the point that everyone who does polls is has a bias, has an interest. I disagree. I disagree because there are certain pollsters that are in the business of being right. And if they're wrong after the fact too many times, then they lose credibility. So there is a segment of pollsters that are like that. They are totally nonpartisan, and you should believe them. But I think the trick is you got to learn how to tell the difference. Yeah. You got to understand who is commissioning the poll.
You're asking a lot, Rachel.
Yeah.
This is why libertarians who are like egalitarians really get to me, because I'm like, you're the elite. You're the one.
Whoa!
Wow.
What's she drinking?
We've had a lot tonight. Hey, we're celebrating because we're having fun. And Rachel, if everybody doesn't know, here's my voice right here in my mouth. Speaking, looking across from me. We are the revolution. The Ron Paul revolution. We started 2007, 2008. I will never forget. Can I tell the story? Can I divert? Sorry, I don't want to be a politician here, but
okay.
Rachel and I, the first time that Rachel and I really met, I saw her at CPAC the first time. We didn't speak. She was with Ron Paul. I was starstruck. Ron was my hero. And then I saw her again when I was bringing petitions. I was working at the Libertarian Party, and I was bringing petitions around to help support Ron Paul's audit of the Fed bill. And this would have been 2008-ish, you know. And I saw Rachel, and Rachel was the chief comms director for Ron Paul, and so I thought she was pretty much the coolest person ever.
I totally am. You're right about that.
But I was going to play it cool, and you know, I had met Ron before, but I wanted, you know, I wanted my interns to meet him, and you know, had them to be excited. And I wanted to support this legislative effort. And I remember Rachel spoke to me for the first time, and she stopped me afterwards. After we all spoke to Ron, and the interns had freaked out, we'd had the best day of our lives, basically. And we delivered our petitions and did our civic activism, democracy, small d. Rachel came and grabbed my arm, and she said, "I hadn't got your business card." And I gave her my business card, and ever since then, Rachel and I have been friends. And now she's my communications director for my own presidential campaign. And because she knows that I'm serious and we're trying to accomplish things. I hope the people who are listening to this show right now know that, like, you know, sincere warriors, sincere liberty warriors and champions are
I'll tell you my favorite Austin Petersen memory is when you came out to play poker with us at the Carlisle Club.
Yes, the Carlisle Club.
Yeah.
That was actually one of my favorite nights ever.
Yeah, we became regulars. I actually helped them out with some marketing and finagled us some, you know, benefits so that we could go see. Oh yeah, that's totally that's our jam. So yeah, we love the Carlisle Club. We love Doc Scantlin and the Imperial Palms Orchestra. And I so wish we could spend another New Year's with them. But if you're in the DC area and you have the opportunity, highly recommend it. They're like Rainbow Room. Yeah, they used to play the Rainbow Room for New Year's Eve. That's how awesome they are. And I know you know what that means. You know.
I'm more like Studio 54.
Yeah, but the Rainbow Room. On New Year's Eve, oh my gosh, yeah. I'm
so excited about what we're doing together. I don't mean to divert the show again, but I mean, I'm so excited about what's happening, the possibilities.
Yeah.
You gotta have options, you know what I mean? Like, I love Rand. Can we talk about Rand? Can we please?
We should totally talk about Rand because I think a lot of people are, well, you start. Oh, but first I have to answer the question. We always start the show with, what are you drinking? And after I say what I'm drinking, because what I'm drinking is important, I have a Best Mom Ever wine glass because that's how I roll. And I am drinking a Carlo Rossi Burgundy because that's what Jeffrey Tucker recommended, and I've become addicted to it now. So Carlo Rossi Burgundy and a Best Mom Ever wine glass that I bought for myself. Okay. Rand, let's talk about Rand.
Oh, honey, I'm so worried for him. I just, like, you know, my own party gives me hell because I say nice things about him. But I mean, like, you know, Mike Lee. I love Mike Lee, but he's got a lot of bad stuff about him. You know, Ted Cruz has got a lot of
Mike Lee is on my shit list because he co-sponsored the gambling. Yeah.
You know why too? They're all sellouts.
Because he's in Sheldon Adelson's pocket.
I know, but Rand is like the least sellest outasty.
What?
He's like the least sellest outasty. Well,
that's my new favorite word.
Sellest outasty. Marco Rubio called him out on the debate the other night about his immigration bill as affecting people who have nothing whatsoever to do with terrorism. And here's the thing. If you're gonna lose, fight for the purity, fight for the end. Yeah. I'm not a purist. But when I know I might lose, if you follow Sun Tzu's teachings and you go crazy bastard strategy, you know, like you're willing to nuclear destroy, you know, mutually assured destruction, then, you know, all of a sudden you're in Trump territory in terms of polls. But I mean, that's just tactics. You know, I honestly think Rand does believe a lot of, probably most of everything that his father believes in many ways. Rand was always there with Murray. and our guys, I'm more of a Robert Nozick guy, but we're a big tent movement, and Ron and Rand play their part in this. They're not the end all be all. Now let's talk about this: the cult of Paul. Let's talk about the cult of Paul, Rachel, because you're a Paulista, you're a Palestinian. Look for the man. I'm
Pollyanna.
I'm independent. I've never taken a dime of money from Rand or Ron, and I've probably put in, $150,000 at least worth of work.
I've taken a lot of money from them, but it's all been taxpayer money, so that should endear me to all the libertarians.
Right, so now you're giving it back to me. Let me just say the cult of Paul, and we need to discuss this because people are like, why is our stuff so uncomfortable? It's the uncomfortable stuff that gets the dialogue going so that we can move forward our principles, not the stuff that we all agree on, but the stuff we disagree on that makes this important, because I think we've gotten so much into a cult of personality that we can't get out of this mindset that maybe a libertarian candidate isn't like a sweet old man, gentle, pacifistic sort of an old man. This is a strain of libertarian-esque, this paleo-libertarianism, and what Rothbard and Lou Rockwell and then these men created in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. But it's exclusionary to the young secular humanist, the skeptical libertarian, the Penn Jillette libertarian, Penn and Teller libertarian, like myself, for example, the scientific secular humanist libertarian that agrees with Ron Paul on almost everything, but perhaps religion and some other things like immigration. But the Kochs are big free market libertarians.
Yeah.
So the cult of personality, I think, limits us. And I want to, do you agree? Do you think that there is a cult of personality that limits?
Yeah, I absolutely do agree. And actually what I think is that Ron Paul never wanted a cult of personality. Jesus, Mike.
I'm saying he never wanted it. No, he didn't like it. And I could see him getting uncomfortable with the popularity in certain ways.
I mean, it's the most awkward thing in the world. It was the most awkward thing in the world for me to watch these young kids come up and give him a hug. I understand where it came from, but that just wasn't his personality to want to be all touchy-feely. I think he only gave me one hug in my life, and that was a hug goodbye my last day out of the office. And I'm going to cry. No, I'm not going to cry. But he's just not a touchy-feely kind of guy. Yeah. And he's not into that. That's why this article, this weird article that came out this week, I don't know if you saw it, that there was some kind of friction and jealousy between Rand and Ron.
You're trying to divide us. I see them out there.
It totally did not ring true to me because was
that the Buzz? Was that the Blaze guy from BuzzFeed?
Yeah, and I heard Tom Beck talking about this. So it's out there. People are talking about this rumor and it has inside information legs to it, and it's it doesn't ring true to me because there is no ego to Ron Paul. There really isn't, and I don't think people really understand that, but there's no ego there. It's not even possible that is happening.
None of it made any sense to me either. I've stepped down from the Libertarian Republic as editor to try and have a magazine that's objective, at least as objective as it can be, with the fact that I own it, because I try, I believe in integrity. And we, my writers love Rand. They love Rand and they love Ron, and of course they love me for that. But I've told them, I said, you don't cover me or my campaign until I'm the news, and until it's important part of our libertarian story. Yeah. And otherwise, they're writing about Rand, and there's an internal struggle going on in between them, the skepticism that the chances of he might win and what they are. But there's not a doubt that our movement has cohesiveness and that there are powers working against us to divide us, and I try and be a good shepherd for them in order to sort of guide them. We
really do need to be a big tent. That's important, because divided we accomplish nothing.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are many fronts to the war, and everybody just pick a front and fight on that front, and don't fight about whose front is better. Just keep fighting. Just do what you do. And support each other, and if we could just do that, and it sounds so simple, but every organization, the best class I ever took in college was organizational behavior. And it's all about psychology and groups and how people fight, infighting and power struggles, and so fascinating. But yeah, every organization has these kinds of struggles. And if we could just figure out, to focus on the common enemy rather than, who in the liberty movement is a fascist, because we're not fascists, we're libertarians. Shut up.
But look at what happened with Christopher Cantwell. You see recently, like, this is very, very internal politics, but it's indicative.
I know, but all you have to do is not give them lip service. The people that you don't like, just ignore them.
Our hero made a mistake.
What?
Ron got in bed with the paleo strategy, and you know that was wrong.
What? What are you referring to?
I'm talking about
decades ago.
The people who now support Donald Trump, who have abandoned. The reason why the Liberty movement has taken a big back seat recently is because the white nationalists and the hardcore supremacists that are not individual liberty types like ourselves have abandoned the liberty movement, and we have receded in our numbers because the people who claim to support individual liberty really support that ethno-supremacism that is the antithesis of individual rights, and one that Ayn Rand directly called out. You know what I'm talking about, the newsletters. And this was the
newsletters. You're bringing up the newsletters again.
Listen, this is an important part of our ethos. You have to understand.
Okay.
The paleoconservatives and the libertarians have had alliances in the past, and they have proven to be fickle friends. Because now look where what hath Rothbard wrought on our movement.
Rothbard had wrought a lot.
Intellectually, banking certain things. He was wrong about the gold standard because he wanted fixed reserves and demand. He basically was fiat gold standard. We'll discuss this later. But
it was a mistake.
We are classical liberals, okay?
Yeah.
That means that individual rights, individual liberty are indiscriminate of your skin color, of your socioeconomic background. It is true egalitarianism because all men are created equal. And unfortunately, we have abandoned Lincoln, and that is a shame because there is a libertarian Lincoln out there. Lou Lehrman, who wrote the book Lincoln at Peoria, was on Ron Paul's Gold Commission in the 80s, served with Reagan, and voted with Ron Paul. But because we have been so encapsulated, we have been so internally, we have been so encapsulated within that paleo strategy that now we are all von Mises, which is not von Mises perhaps, but we are all that Auburn, and not enough of all of the nodes of our collective consciousness. And I've used the word collective for a reason, because if you're talking about Big Tent and libertarianism, the paleo-conservative strategy I think was wrong. I think we need a cosmopolitan strategy because the world is becoming smaller and more minute as social media has come together.
You do know that Murray Rothbard has been dead for like 20 years, right? And he had abandoned this whole paleo-conservative shtick before he died. You're talking about, you're dragging up things that are literally 30 years old.
Don't change the subject. So the Constitution is 276 years old. Is it irrelevant? No.
I don't think the
conservative
adventures of Murray Rothbard and Ron Paul 25 years ago are relevant to.
I love Ron Paul, but the paleo strategy was a mistake. And listen, when the press comes, when the media comes to you, Rachel, and they want to find the racist newsletters of Austin Petersen, what will they find?
Nothing. I know that. But let me address what I think Ron Paul's mistake was there, as I understand it.
Yeah.
Okay. At the fundamental level of this is Ron Paul's belief in coalitions, not compromise. And he builds coalitions with people where he agrees, and that's what he focuses on. He focuses on where he has agreement. And a lot of times, I guess the mistake is to disregard where you disagree. And I think he was so strong in building a coalition with a lot of friends that he trusted that he sort of checked out, I think, a little bit of politics for a while, as we all do. We all get burned out. Now, no, listen.
You can't be president and do that. You must know your associations. You shall.
This was way before he wanted to be president. This is way before.
You know, just like Jack Hunter, our buddy.
I mean, I know, but you cannot run for president for your entire life. You know, you make a decision. I mean, no one is perfect.
But no, not. But I mean, listen, Obama, in many ways, you know, like he had some shady associations and all that kind of stuff. Generally, Americans want that strong character in that sense. And the reason why we lost Iowa both times is because right before the caucuses in Iowa, the newsletters controversy emerged. And both times, half of my team of freedom fighters deserted. Both times. And it was heartbreaking.
I know, but you have to have a good answer. You have to have a good answer for this, and I think that's another shortcoming is he did not have a good answer. He tried to ignore it for far too long. You know, and in the Morton Blackwell School, the Leadership Institute, we learn, you know, to ignore things until they go away, and then when they don't go away, then you have to answer them. But he waited too long, you know, unfortunately. Before answering the whole newsletters thing, and somebody,
I don't believe it so much. I think somebody sold out Ron. I don't know the true story.
Yeah.
Listen, you probably know it, but I mean, like,
I think Ben Swan outed who wrote it, and it was not anybody interesting.
I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I believe that. I don't care. I don't owe anybody jack. That's why. I love being me because I don't owe anybody jack squad. I don't have to cover for anybody's butt. I owe nobody nothing.
Well, this is what I know about Ron Paul, is that there's not a racist bone in his body. There really is not.
I got that impression from him.
You know, I
that was palling around with David Duke.
Well, it wasn't Ron Paul. I mean, but they're seriously not a racist. There's not even a homophobic bone in his body.
Except for the weird shit that he said. Excuse me. The weird thing that he said on Bruno. Remember the?
I was there.
He comes from a different era. He comes from a different era. It's like my dad. You know what I mean? Like sometimes my dad.
No, but what he said was not homophobic at all. He was offended because he got put in a terrible situation, and it was very embarrassing. And you know. And he reacted the way any normal person would.
By the way, the movement's going to freak out about this conversation because
Who?
The movement is going to freak out, like the Liberty movement.
Nobody watches my show.
I think that when they freak out this conversation, there's going to be some articles.
Well, maybe.
Ron's people hate me. Ron's people really despise me. The crazy, the psycho.
I can't imagine why.
The crazies that he hired. What's his name? Kevin McButt.
Friends like you. Who needs Jamie Kirchick?
Yeah, no. You don't need Jamie. You know, Jamie Kirchick was doing his job, but they got the crazy eyes, Rachel. In there, they got the look in their eyes. They got the crazy eyes, you know, and they're like rooting for Vladimir Putin. These aren't libertarians. Who the hell are these people? You know, no, but they weren't in the movement. They weren't in the Tea Party. They weren't fighting for Ron. I never saw them at any event, movements, and stuff like that. This Ron Paul Institute for Peace and Prosperity. Who are these charlatans, these frauds, and these mountebanks?
What?
You know what I'm talking about? The creepy crawlers at Target Liberty and all these like little negative third-rate blogs that are attacking me and all this stuff like that. You must know who these creeps are. They were never there fighting for Ron. Never saw them. Who are these weirdos? This Kevin guy or something like that. This is Ron Paul's legacy?
Well, we're all searching for what happens next, you know. After you know, that's we don't need a cult of personality. We don't need to worship Ron Paul forever. We all need to figure out what's next.
Thank you.
So, you know, and so that's what everybody's trying to do. That's why all of these websites and all of these organizations are springing up, because we're trying to figure out, you know, how to move on, how to stay cohesive, how to get something accomplished without, you know, Ron Paul as the, you know, figurehead, you know.
Right.
Ron Paul never wanted that. I mean, he always wanted to advance liberty, and that's all he wanted to do. And he thought if he could take on that role and it would be helpful, then he would do it. But I mean, Ron Paul is Ron Paul. He's not perfect, but he's pretty darn close. I mean, I don't, you know,
Good man. He's
you
great
want you to let Chris Christie, is he better?
No. No.
I mean, come on.
No, but like we have zonked ourselves out. We've become the Obama zombies in the sense because
I mean, you never had a friend that made you uncomfortable and used the N-word or told off-color jokes, or you know, and I mean,
no, not a friend, not a friend.
You live in the South. Come on.
No. I mean, like, you know, like attracts like, and like, you know, you need to surround yourself with good people. You shall know them by their fruits. So, you know, by your associations, you shall be judged. You know, like when I was a little boy, I was a choir boy. I was a very good boy, and I believed in the philosophy of the Bible without any of the supernatural hocus pocus. And I believe that Jesus was a good man who had a lot of good teachings, and so I followed them, and I've applied them to my life now, even though I've renounced, like, you know, the religion in a sense. But no, I never surrounded, from a little boy when I was a good boy, and I surrounded myself with good friends because I believed that my parents, when they taught me that, you know, who your friends are, they will influence you and stuff like that. Yeah, we were kind of bad kids every once in a while. Sometimes I get spanked. But for the most part, I sought out those associations, which I thought we would benefit from one another and positively affect one another. Maybe I've been lucky. Maybe
you're
that's
a young
my
man,
white
Austin. You're a young man.
Maybe that's my white privilege.
So, did you watch the debate? How much did you watch, honestly?
Like 75% of it.
Really?
Yeah. And then I read the transcripts of the rest.
Yeah.
I got no choice. I'm running for president, Rachel.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't be caught slipping.
And did you watch the little kids debate, the kids table?
Yeah, a little bit of that stupid stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So, a lot of what I'm reading is everybody thinks that their guy won. Like, it was just sort of confirming if you liked so and so at the beginning, you liked him even more after, you know. And that's what I'm hearing about Rand is everyone on my Facebook page likes Rand, of course. So, you know, Rand did awesome. He did great. But, you know, you liked Rand before, you liked him even more after. And that's, you know, the people that like Cruz, they felt the same. The people like Trump, they felt the same. Can you take a step back and objectively?
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me objectively.
Man, that's what's awesome about being a third-party candidate is I can be honest.
Yeah.
From a substantive perspective, I thought Rand Paul won the debate because he was making the most libertarian arguments, the ones that I agreed with the most.
Yeah.
In terms of like an audience performance, objectively, I would say they probably would say that Marco Rubio gave the best performance because he hews to that mainstream conservative Republican, neoconservative sort of party the establishment finds acceptable.
Right.
And Carson falls flat, Fiorina falls flat, Jeb Bush falls flat. You know, who else?
You think Carson's pretty much done? Are we done with him? Can we be done?
Well, you know what? He's going to get the job that he was going for the whole time, which is Surgeon General. You know, and wonderful man he will be should Marco Rubio take the presidency. And better Marco Rubio than Hillary Clinton, and better me than all three of them, or all two of them. Me out of all three. But
I think I'm hearing that Fiorina, like, that she is falling flat. Like the people that liked her before are getting tired of her and they're looking somewhere else.
Carly Fiorina and I heard the most hilarious joke today. Somebody showed a picture of Carly Fiorina and they're like, Carly Fiorina seeking ways to convert Dalmatian skins into furs.
Yeah, I posted that.
That was a terrible joke. But
so I mean, talk about Trump for a minute. Talk about Trump. When are we going to get rid of him finally, or is he going to be the nominee? Is he going to be the nominee, or when is he going to finally fight it?
You got the crucial Putin endorsement, right?
Did you get a Putin endorsement?
Guess what? People who are supporting Trump right now are the people who would be supporting Rand or Cruz. And they support Cruz more than they support Trump. So let's talk about what really is going on right now. Trump has destroyed Jeb Bush. He has destroyed Rand Paul. And he has destroyed...
China, says Charles Kennedy.
You're completely out of your gourd. What Rand Paul guy is distracted by the shiny object that is Donald Trump?
Michael,
I contend there is none.
A lot of them.
Listen, just because you're a genius, not everybody is like you, dude.
Michael,
think like the average voter. You've got to think like the average voter.
A lot. Do you remember Sarah, who used to be on the show a lot? She was behind Trump in Raleigh, North Carolina, and my friend
She was
Kelly,
there as a paid political consultant.
I don't know
it's
that
a
she
little
was
different.
You think she was paid?
Yes, she said explicitly she was paid, and she was not endorsing Donald Trump.
She was paid to be there?
Yes, she was paid to be there. She was a paid political consultant who was there observing the event.
Oh, good Lord.
That's a little bit different.
She's a cute blonde. She's a very attractive blonde. And she went with my friend Kelly, who's also a very attractive blonde. They put them, my friends, right behind Trump on the stage here in Raleigh. So that
you asked me about Trump. Listen, Trump's going to go down. The establishment's going to take him out, okay? Which leaves potentially Cruz or Rubio. The establishment's going to unite behind Rubio. That's what's going to happen, okay? Because he's the acceptable candidate. Rubio and Jeb Bush basically have the same positions, but Jeb has got the bad legacy of the Bush name. And if they have the same positions, why not pretend like you've got the outsider candidate? Rubio was like the Tea Party candidate, right? It's all fake, but he's still establishment solid neocon. It doesn't matter. Rubio will be the acceptable establishment choice that will pretend to act like it. He will be the National Review candidate, and we'll have 4 to 8 more years of Bush, wars in the Middle East, and big government if we don't have Hillary Clinton. Who knows? Listen, you want to be honest here, that's what's probably going to happen. Donald Trump will bring some delegates to the Republican National Convention. There probably will be a fist fight, and the Republican Party will do to Trump what they did to Ron Paul.
Yeah, but I don't think Trump can take that. And he does have an ego. He can't go to the convention.
Ron was a weenie. I love Ron, but he didn't have a fighting bone in his body. You know what I mean? You wouldn't want to put Ron in a firefight. You don't want Ron in a firefight. You want Donald Trump. So be real here. Donald Trump's people will fight. They will fight. Listen, I don't care. From a philosophical perspective, I'm a libertarian. From a tactical perspective, I am a social, neoconservative, Marxist, communist, radical. Fight whatever tactics you can use to win, because all that matters is Niccolo Machiavelli. Rothbard don't put Rothbard up against Machiavelli, okay? If you want to win, fight like Donald Trump. If you want to have a good policy for your economy and for your government, vote Rand Paul. I'll do what's right for our country, but if you're trying to ascribe your intelligent brain to the average voter, you're already on the wrong track. You're starting wrong. Most people don't.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that's politics, and that's true.
We're the Libertarian Bilderbergs.
What?
We're the Libertarian Bilderbergs.
We need that. We need that. Libertarian Bilderbergs.
Without the money.
Minus the money. That's pretty important. We need to figure that out.
True. Let's start a business. Stop running for president.
Yeah. So what else? I
don't know. I mean, if anybody listens to this tomorrow, and I know a lot of people are going to listen to the interview because I'm going to share it out there. So yeah.
Okay. Good.
It's going to generate a lot of heat. It is.
It's Clark Lind is asking if you're slurring yet. I think you are a little bit.
I was. I haven't had a drink since we started, so I've only been getting more sober.
You're supposed to be drinking.
I know.
It makes the show better. Drink.
I will.
Okay. Every time Charles Kennedy makes a comment, everybody has to drink. That's the drinking game. He's going to comment.
Do we have
Charles Kennedy.
Rachel, ask me anything.
What?
Ask me anything.
Ask you anything. My mind went blank. Isn't that the way it works? I'm such a great host.
We were talking about Trump. We were talking about the debates earlier. Let's talk about what happens.
Charles Kennedy made a comment. Drink.
All right. I'm getting beer here in just 2 seconds. What happens when if Rand goes down?
I think that
The objective.
Yeah. Here's my honest opinion on the Rand Paul campaign.
Pretty sure the sun will rise the next day.
Yes, the sun will rise the next day.
No, you can't. Doom, Rand Paul.
And
same thing will happen that always happens.
And B, people need to not get discouraged. People need to think about 2020.
Yeah.
Rand is very young. He's only been in the Senate a few years. Ron Paul had, like nearly a 40-year political career.
Yeah.
Rand is just getting started. He's got a lot of years ahead of him. Don't give up on Rand. And in the meantime, there's the Libertarian Party. You don't have to sell out and vote for Marco Rubio or, God forbid, Donald Trump. You don't have to do that. You can vote for Austin Petersen. You can vote for Austin Petersen. And I even though we might be up against Gary Johnson, I would vote for him. If that's who the Libertarian Party picks, I would vote for Gary Johnson above any Republican, except for if Rand Paul. I wouldn't want to work against Rand Paul.
No.
If he was the nominee, but I don't think it's likely.
Oh no, but here's the thing, Rachel. Like, since we have nothing to lose, why don't we just be honest? If let's say Rand Paul wins and we win, and then we're running against Rand, like, this is the stuff that dreams are made of. Because
why is that good?
Well, because if Rand is smart, he would go to the Libertarian Party and say, let's make a deal, and then we could somehow find a way to like beat the Democrats together. Because honestly, like, what do you really want to do? Like, what do you want to do? Like, do you have a master strategy? Listen, I mean, I'm supposed to hate Rand, okay? That's what I'm supposed to do as a partisan, perhaps. But since I'm an independent individualist, and the Libertarian Party might not choose me anyway. I
don't hate Rand. I love Liberty.
Oh, yeah, I can like him. And yeah, I can. And like Mike Lee, too, even though I don't like some of the stuff he does. And sometimes I even like Ted Cruz. Anybody that shut down the government has got a pretty good, track record. But Obama really shut down the government, though, because he's the one who wouldn't.
So if Rand wins the nomination and you win the nomination, you want to talk.
Yeah, I want to talk.
Let's talk.
Yeah, you know why? Because maybe he's going to be like, he's going to be scared of me. Maybe he'll be like, this guy's going to get me on those Syrian refugees. I better change my position. I better be more libertarian because I'm going to eat his lunch if he doesn't be a good libertarian. And maybe that's a good thing for America because America would benefit because Rand would be even more libertarian.
Yeah, there's that, and I hope that's the case, but there's also the argument that if he went to libertarian, he would alienate his base.
Well, he's already alienated his base, and guess what it's done for him?
4%. That's what it's done for him.
Yeah, right? Listen, I wasn't raised a fool. I came out of the dirt, a farm. I raised, sold flowers as a little boy, dug them in the fields myself. Like, I didn't come, from peculiar Missouri to New York City to Washington, D.C. and conquer both, major professions because I was an idiot. There's ways to win for liberty now, immediately, in 2016, if the right people get together in the right rooms and do the right things and make the right decisions. But
I agree.
But if we alienate ourselves and we segregate ourselves and we do what Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders and all the bad guys and the Bushes and stuff want us to do, and that's
just call each other fascist.
Yeah.
Statist.
Yeah, and if we don't do,
bringing up paleoconservatism.
Bring it up.
Well, maybe it still needs to be discussed. I don't know.
Listen, do you want to talk? Do you have something to fear? Like, let's not talk about something. Like, no. Everything's on the table to discuss.
Yeah.
Got nothing to be afraid of. You want to talk about David Duke and the Ku Klux Klan and all that? Let's talk about it.
They suck.
That's right.
I am more than happy to lose the Klan vote for Donald Trump. He can have those voters.
We did.
Even if it gets him elected. I am more than happy to let the non-libertarian, single issue crazy people,
the hateful
like
people,
and I'm going to get some people mad.
You
like
saw
the home birthers,
like
right?
And right?
All of these people that they are not small government.
Yeah.
They are anti the current government because they want a different powerful government that can focus on their pet craziness.
Yeah.
Okay.
I always say that anarchists don't want a government because
have those people.
But the anarchists don't want a government.
Put them on the SS Trump and let them sail.
Yeah.
We do not need them. I do not want them.
I agree. I agree.
So anyways, the conspiracy theorists have been trying to ride me out of the movement for years because I debunked their BS. Their 9/11, 7/11 was a part-time job.
That's funny. I like that.
That is pretty
I'm
good.
going to steal that.
Yeah, 7/11.
Who's waving?
I'm not going to credit you because I don't believe in intellectual property.
Yeah, this is Ashley, my sister.
Hi, Ashley.
And
you
so
join us. You have a voice. It's important.
We have lost the crazy vote, and you saw Alex Jones has gone to where he was always going to go. The Trump, this fascist.
Oh, Alex Jones hates you.
Oh yes, he does. He gave me the nickname, Leif Petersen.
See, all of the right people hate you. That's what I like about you, Austin. All of the right people hate you.
The Nazis hate me. The conspiracy theorists hate me. The paleo conservatives hate me. The homophobes hate me. The racists hate me. Dang, must be doing something right, ladies and gentlemen. They must be doing something right.
Yeah, I look at your haters and I go down the list and I'm like, damn,
like
that's
that.
a pretty good list.
Good list.
That's a pretty good list.
Hey, your buddy Brad Soba. Cheers, Brad.
Cheers.
How much longer are we going on this thing, by the way?
Yeah, funny you should ask. It's about time to go.
Cheers, Rachel. Cheers.
So, yeah, that was a very in-depth debate analysis. I will confess after the fact that I did not watch 1 second of the debate, and I just did a show on the debate. But
we didn't really talk about the debate, but we had some interesting conversations that are definitely going to get clipped. I can't keep the drunk people away from me. They're flooding into my room. I've got to run.
That's your life. That's your life, and it's a good one. Okay.
Cheers for liberty.
All right. I'll talk to you next time. We'll have you back.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Bye. Enjoy.